Most people think creating realistic master plan renderings is all about adding more details and spending countless hours tweaking settings. Well, it's not. It's about understanding the right tools and workflows that completely transform how you approach visualization. So in today's video, if you give me just 15 minutes, I'm going to show you the secret to master planning renderings in D5 Render that will change how you design, which includes features that'll nearly cover up all the flaws in your project. I was debating on whether or not I should even share these features because they're that powerful. But let's start by creating our master plan.
With number 1, 3D modeling. Good rendering starts with a well-designed 3D model. And when you're working on a master plan, that means creating a ton of buildings. For this project, here are the programmatic requirements. I had to include 2 arenas, a central plaza space, museum, restaurants, shops, a high-rise hotel, apartments, and even low-rise apartments. Now, I'll leave a list of all these programmatic requirements so you can follow along. Each of these buildings had to be uniquely designed, but at the same time, they all needed to fit into one collective narrative and style for the overall master plan. Now here's a secret most beginners miss. Massing out a bunch of plain white blocks just won't cut it. Your buildings need depth, character, and material, otherwise your final rendering is going to look flat and lifeless. But at the same time, don't overdo it. Most of your views will be zoomed out, so spending hours modeling the tiny details no one will ever see is a waste of time. Instead, figure out your best views first. Then prioritize modeling details only in the areas that will actually show up. That's how you maximize return with minimum effort. Once you've 3D modeled your master plan, it's time to move on because the real magic happens in the next steps, starting with number 2, adding context. Context can make or break a master plan rendering. Without it, your design feels isolated. With it, the entire project comes to life. Luckily, D5 Render makes this step incredibly easy. First, use the built-in asset library to quickly drop in surrounding buildings. In just a few clicks, your site no longer feels empty. The real game changer is D5's Cesium feature, which was just made available in the latest update for Teams plans only, but will come out in the next update for Pro version. With just a few clicks, you can import real-world data, site context directly from sources like OpenStreetMaps or Google Earth. Roads, buildings, terrain, it all comes in automatically, saving you hours of work compared to manually photoshopping background context. Now I'll give you a little trick that I use. With Cesium, you can't use the section cut or the section cube yet to perfectly insert your site model. But lowering the map slightly below your project still achieves a very convincing effect. And while it can still run D5 with Cesium open, I recommend turning it off while you're working and then enabling it again when you're ready to render to speed up your workflow. And just like that, in 2 steps, you've got a master plan model and realistic context. But we're only getting started because the real secrets begin with step 3 when you're adding materials. The materials you choose will define the realism and the atmosphere of your master plan. But it's not just about throwing on any material, it's about designing with intention, because this is what it looks like when you're just throwing on textures without intentionality. Right away, I knew the plaza space needed something special. So I went back to my precedent images to see what kind of materials those reference projects used for a similar space. That's where D5's AI Material Snap tool came in. I imported a precedent image directly into D5 and literally stole the ground material that I liked. With one click, it generated a PBR material. I saved it to my local library and I was able to apply it instantly to my model. Now here's where things get even more powerful. I had found a free wood texture online that I really liked, but it was low quality and had no texture maps. Normally that would have been absolutely useless. But with D5's AI material tools, limitations like these are gone forever. First, I used the HD texture tool to upscale the resolution, and then the AI texture map generator built the missing maps for me, turning a flat, lifeless JPEG into a completely realistic and high quality material. This is why materials is one of the biggest secrets to master plan rendering. And with D5's AI tools, not only do you get better results, you also save time. And that's just the beginning, because next I'll show you how D5's AI can take your vegetation placement from repetitive and boring to natural, organic, and realistic in a fraction of the time. Most people think you have to place every single tree one by one to get a master plan that feels realistic. But that's the slowest possible way that you could be working, and you should stop that immediately. Instead, you want to think big picture first. I start at the largest scale, forest, tree lines, clusters, and then work my way inward. With the D5's Vegetation Scatter tool, I can select an area and instantly populate it with the exact assets I want. The density, scale, and variation, it's all customizable. But here's a quick warning. Don't select too big of an area. I've done it before, and trust me, watching your file freeze is the last kind of realism that you want in your workflow. But a method that shouldn't stress the file size of your model as much, but will still be useful, is using the Advanced Brush. This feature lets me create vegetation along a custom path on the site, and then allows me to erase the areas I don't need. Like here, where the trees were accidentally covering a part of the sidewalk, I was able to erase it. It's fast, flexible, and keeps the file light. Stop spending hours placing individual vegetation assets like this. This doesn't mean you should have no vegetation at all. It just means you need to be using D5's AI agent. For this master plan, I have used the AI agent to help me generate small areas of vegetation that are tailored to the climate and location of the project. The AI agent generates a full planting schedule of what I need as well. And these are the results that were produced in about under a minute, something that would have taken me hours. And in 4 steps, we've gone from a base model to a fully contextualized, textured, and landscaped master plan, built with secret time-saving techniques using D5 Render. But we are not done yet. The next steps will take your master plan to the final level with enhancements that will make your master plan a pro. Here's another insider secret. You don't need to individually place every interior item or vehicle to make your master plan feel alive. First, let's talk interiors, the shops, restaurants, and commercial spaces. Manually decorating each interior scene is incredibly time-consuming, but that's where D5's Interior Parallax asset comes in. They're pre-built realistic interior scene images that you can drop right into the window openings, complete with furniture, lighting, and ambiance. It's like placing an entire furnished room in one go, but there's no cluttered polygons and no wasted time. If you combine the Interior Parallax with the Advanced Path Brush, this is a cheat code that allows you to place several interior parallaxes at a time along a path, which was extremely valuable when placing the restaurants and shops in the massing. To bring motion and life to your scene outside, use the advanced tool to place vehicles in the parking lot. And then I finally used the vehicle path tool to place vehicles on the roads with 4 lanes of traffic.
The last secret is all about atmosphere and realism. With D5's AI Atmosphere Match tool, I can grab any sky reference or HDR sky and instantly match the lighting and mood of my entire scene. As you can see here, it'll slowly transform your existing sky to match your reference sky. But that's not all. To push realism even further, I use the AI enhancement and style transfer features. Instead of spending endless time adjusting rendering settings, I just enable the AI enhancement channel, and it's supportive up to 6K rendering quality. Once your rendering is complete, you can open it up by clicking on the AI Post-Processing tab. Choose Style Transfer, and then select Realistic Style and import your reference image. Within seconds, you have transformed a low-effort rendering into something far more cinematic and realistic. It's one of the fastest ways to take your master plan renderings from beginner to expert. Think about where we started from that blank 3D model. And now we built out a full site, added real world context, layered in AI powered materials, filled the scene with vegetation, and populated the streets and other contexts, and finished it off with atmosphere matching and other rendering enhancements. The secret isn't just knowing the tools exist, it's knowing how to use the right ones at the right time. That's what saves you hours of wasted effort and energy transforming your renders into realistic images. If you apply these steps, you'll not only speed up your workflow, you'll also gain confidence to take on bigger, more complex projects and being able to present them at a professional level. D5 Render allows users to effortlessly create realistic projects for beginners and pros. Imagine what you can create when you really start to master these tools, but that requires practice on your end. So make sure you're subscribed for when I post more content on D5 Render so you can be the first on top of new features and topics. And if you want to take things further, I've actually put together a free AI tool cheat sheet with all the tools that I use to speed up my architecture workflows. And you can find that in the first link in the description below.